Well, hey, and welcome to day 37 of our walk through the Gospel of Mark together. Today we're in chapter 11, verses 12 through 21. And it's an interesting two stories that are this is something that Mark does a lot. He kind of creates these sandwiches where it's like a little section, another section, and then he brings it back to the first section in some way. And it would seem like these two stories are not connected. One is very agricultural, it seems really odd, and the other one is very spiritual. It has to do with church. And in the first one, we see Jesus, and it says in verse 12 that he was hungry, and he noticed a fig tree that it says was in full leaf. And that's key, because he gets to the tree, he realizes there's no fruit on it, and he wonders, why isn't there any fruit? The way that the leaves were showing that there should have been fruit on this tree. And so he does a very strange thing, a very kind of un-Jesus-like thing. He curses the tree, oddly. And then he goes into Jerusalem with his disciples, and he does something that's very, very interesting, and again, what people would not normally say is something that Jesus would do. It says, they arrived back in Jerusalem, they entered the temple, and Jesus began to drive out the people buying and selling animals for sacrifices. He knocked over the table of the money changer and the chairs of those selling doves, and he stopped everyone from using the temple as a marketplace. And you see, he was angry, he was frustrated, he got into the temple, and what he was hoping to see was worship, he was hoping to see prayer, he was hoping to see sacrifice, and instead he saw commerce. And what he had seen there was, it appeared one way, you saw the temple, and it was beautiful, and the stones were amazing, and all these things that in other Gospels the disciples remarked at. But he gets in there and he realizes another reality altogether. And we realize that the fig tree and the temple are actually very related. You see, Jesus was seeing something that exhibited, it appeared to have life, it appeared to be in line with God's creation for it. And then you get in for a closer look and you realize that it's corrupt, that it's broken, that it's not doing what it intended to do. And really, in the temple, it was sad because there were people who were coming from other nations who they couldn't give their offering in their own money. They had to exchange it for the temple coin to give a sacrifice. And the temple money changers, what they were doing is they were charging extra tax to exchange that money. So they were enriching themselves on the backs of those who would just want to come and worship. And so Jesus saw the corruption. He saw the death inside of it. He saw the things that were not the way that God intended, and that angered him. And as Christians, we often think that anger is a sin. The Bible doesn't say don't become angry. It says, in your anger, do not sin. And Jesus was angry here. It was a righteous anger, because what these people had done is they had created an impediment, a burden for people who wanted to come in and worship. And then they used that opportunity to enrich themselves. And so Jesus was furious. And when we see those things in our world, it should make us mad too. If we see things that were designed by God in a certain way and they're being corrupted or they're being perverted or they're being compromised in some way, that should anger us. If people are trying to utilize other people's worship to enrich themselves, or they're trying to create burdens for people as they come to worship, that should anger us. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's righteous anger. So I'm glad to have you with us on this last stretch as we head toward the cross. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow.